rescheduled AMA. It is Thursday, January 12th, 2023.
Where am I? I'm muting the Discord. You are, yep. Sweet.
Get these announcements out.
Yes. Put the bat signal out that we are live. And we are about to talk about Bitcoin.
Yeah. So while we've been sitting here, Bitcoin, we were just talking about if Bitcoin will break the resistance level that you were talking about, which was what, 18.4, 18.3?
I mean, it starts in that area. I mean, you know, because everyone talks about like 1920, but it's kind of that whole range from like, you know, mid 18s into, you know, the low 20s. Yes, we teased the audience going live many minutes later than planned, but we got
just a little bit
wrapped up in talking real estate and Bitcoin and forgot to hit the live button. But we are live now. Yes, we're live now, January 12th. On a random Thursday, your not regularly scheduled When Soon show for LeoFinance.
Yeah, this market is just crazy though. Because we were just talking about how I was hesitating to buy Bitcoin yesterday because, you know, I had a big chunk of cash coming in, and Bitcoin was like 16.4, 16.5 or so. And then suddenly yesterday it jumped to 17.2. And then I was like hesitating to pull the trigger and buy because obviously, you know, you don't want to buy when it's up, you know, 5% on the day. You kind of want to wait and see if it goes down. But eventually I was just like, you know what, just gonna pull the trigger. It's, you know, it's not that significant, right? So I'm glad I did in hindsight because I ended up buying it like 17.2. Now we're at 18.7. So
Indeed.
And this is Bitcoin for the long term. So that's why I ended up just pulling the trigger because I don't plan to sell this Bitcoin until we're like over 50K again. So, you know, I figured in the grand scheme, it's not going to make a huge difference. And I'd rather just get the buy-in.
Well, and that's the problem too, right? You know, you look at that short term and you're like, damn it, I could have just bought it, you know, X amount lower.
Right.
And then it's like, well, hold on. If you're buying this to hold it till it's 50K, then what the hell's the difference if you bought it 500 points higher? And, you know, we just had this conversation before we went live with me talking about Tesla, how I wanted to buy those, you know, 100 strike price, you know, leap options when it was at 105 and my funds weren't clear yet. And now it's at 120 and I don't want to buy them because it's like, well, shit, it's up 15 points. But it's like, I'm buying those. Why? I'm buying those probably in light of hoping Tesla's at 200, you know, before March next year. So it's like, yeah, I lost out on some potential profit, but in the end of the day, it's like, well, I guess the only difference with the options is, you know, expiration date.
Right.
So
yeah, I've been putting up a lot of posts lately about a lot of posts and threads about collateralized lending and how, because right now I'm just, you know, I'm stacking Bitcoin like there's no tomorrow. But there's still other things I want to do. So like I talked about in my post, but, you know, I've got bills to pay, I've got, you know, devs to pay, infrastructure to pay for. And then I've also got other things I want to put capital into, like the BHBD BUSD pool and the other farms on Cub and, you know, just building liquidity there. But I still want to own a lot of Bitcoin, right? So I don't want to be like not buying the Bitcoin and have that opportunity cost. So, you know, something I've been talking about a lot lately is how I've been going heavy on these MakerDAO vaults because I'm just scooping up Bitcoin, throwing it in the vault, taking a loan against it as DAI, and then putting that DAI to work to either, you know, pay for stuff or throw it into farms and earn yield, obviously. So, yeah, I was just telling you that the interest rate is 3.5%. And that's for the most That's for the lowest collateralization ratio vault, which means you can borrow the most against it. But then, you can go, there's 3 different ones for Bitcoin, and you can go all the way down to 0.5%. So, 0.5% interest, which is awesome. But that's obviously, then you borrow less against your Bitcoin, but then your interest rate is basically 0.
Which is pretty awesome. Yeah. Well, and it was funny because obviously, like, since I wasn't able to enter, and I don't think I talked about this on air last week. Maybe I did, but I had bought a good chunk of Tesla in my IRA like a week ago or so, which at the time seemed like a great price at 133. We sold off longer, but it's a 15-year hold for me because it's in my IRA. So, but yeah, I definitely want more Bitcoin. And I'm like, shit, that money I sent to like my Schwab account to try and do this Tesla, options trade. I mean, maybe the play was buying Bitcoin and doing a MakerDAO loan. I would have needed to, add some more money to it. Taskmaster, that's funny. I'm really not that young. I mean, 59 and a half for, withdrawing out of your IRA. So 15 years, I'm 44, about to turn 45. So it's all relative, I'm in the middle between you and Cal, I guess. Cal's young.
Task has
Okay.
6 years.
That's funny. That's right. I got shit. One of my best friends is closer than you. He's like a year and a half away. I leave baby New Year out of this. Yes. Well, that's good.
Yeah,
The good thing.
What, 35 years?
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure LeoFinance is your IRA.
Yeah, it is.
Like
35 years from now, Leo will be worth $100 a token.
That's the win for us, Taskmaster, is that Cal's young enough where he'll still be working the Leo ecosystem well into when we're past retirement.
Yeah, that's for sure. That
He'll
is
still
for
be
sure.
building his Amazon Leo empire.
Yeah. Some people don't see that. That's what the LeoVerse is, though. The LeoVerse is forever. It forever lives in the Sooniverse.
The Sooniverse will always continue to bring the Soons for the wins.
Yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on Bitcoin in terms of this move happening right now? And if it, if you think if it changes anything, or if it's just, an overdue kind of little rally.
Yeah. I mean, that's what, I put up some funny tweets and threads about, bear market over, because, that's what everyone loves to say as soon as we feel any sort of relief. I don't know, I mean, like we were talking about, Bitcoin kind of broke through, like, I think it broke through a lot higher than any of us would have expected. Like a little relief is fine, like, from 16 to 17, but now, I mean, we're pushing 19. So we're pre FTX, I think we were what, 22? Yeah, we're 21,000 pre FTX blow up. So, I think once we break to that level, I would look at it as like, maybe a slow grind out of this bear market, but I don't really know. Speaking more broadly, like, I think most people are expecting that we're going to be in a recession for the next, 12 to 18 months. And, the economy is not going to be good. Earnings aren't going to be good. Companies are going to be laying off people. Coinbase just laid off 1,000 people. So, and obviously Elon's, laid off most of Twitter's staff. So, given that the global economy is not doing that well for the next 12 to 18 months, I'm not expecting Bitcoin to go back to 50K. But, I could definitely foresee it, kind of grinding up a little bit and, kind of sitting in like a 20K, 20 to 29K range for a while.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah, I think sub 20K is actually kind of oversold. Like that's just my personal opinion, that like if FTX didn't blow up, we wouldn't have been sub 20K, because you could see that, Bitcoin, back in June and kind of when shit hit the fan, Bitcoin dropped to like 19K, but it quickly rallied back above 20. And I know there's like that psychological support level of like the previous all-time high of the previous bull market, which was 20K. So, I don't know, that might have a factor. That my strategies are obviously not very short term at all. Like I just buy Bitcoin dollar cost average every day. And then, once a week I throw it in a MakerDAO vault, take a loan out against it, pay my bills, and wait for the next bull market. That's what I did in the 2018 bear market. And I ended up, averaging into Bitcoin at like sub 5K, and then was taking loans to pay stuff. And then, obviously shit went crazy. So this starting to like at these prices, it feels a lot like 2018, in terms of like pain, in terms of, people thinking that, crypto is over, the things I'm hearing from people, like, I'm obviously, as I think most of us are, known in like social circles, my social circles and family, as like the crypto guy. So, when anything happens in crypto, they're like, are you okay? Is everything okay? Like FTX blew up and they're like, did you lose all your money? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I did. I lost $0 in the FTX blow up. But yeah, it's so hearing that stuff is kind of like indicators to me of the bear market. So yeah, I don't know. It's feeling a lot like 2018 to me already. So just kind of, but my bear market strategy is, I wrote that post about it, is just loading Bitcoin every single day, regardless of the price. Like I'll probably buy more today, even though it's up a little bit and I don't want to, but, and then throwing it in my MakerDAO vault. That's my bear market strategy.
Stack and stake.
Stack, stake, take a loan. I'll add a third step for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you in terms of like the general market. I just don't see how 2023 brings a bull market in much of anything, or at least for the first half of the year. I mean, and that doesn't mean you're not going to get rallies. I mean, you can get 10% rallies in a bear markets, no problem. You know what I mean? So I would love to see Bitcoin kind of just have a sideways year. If like we never go lower and, this ends up being the low until the next bull market, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll probably wish I had bought more since I was being greedy with orders down in the 13s. And I didn't do much dollar cost averaging. I did a little, but yeah. And like Taster said, risk on might appear in the second half of 2023. And I agree that is definitely a potential scenario on the table. But yeah, like you said, 50K in 2023 is probably not a reality. And that's fine. So not wrong with going sideways. I have no problems if we stay in a range. If we never get below 16 again, that would be awesome. And if we just bounce in the high teens and 20s, I'm fine with that, because it allows you to DCA and then also just continue to collect yield on your staked crypto.
Yeah.
Which, ideally you can use to DCA, which that's what I've finally been doing. It's a combination, is that I've been using yield pretty much from like Cub DeFi to DCA into all the cryptos, which, isn't a ton of money, but it's still regular buys. And then I have a little bit of capital or crypto staked on some other platforms. And with that, I've actually been doing something I've never done. I've been cashing that out into USDC, and then I send it to my Juno card, and I've been using it for like spending money here and there, because like I've never benefited from my crypto investing. Like money's always going in. I'm always, building that portfolio, but I'm just like, you know what? It's time to enjoy some benefits from crypto. So, and it's not a ton of money. Like I'm talking like, I'm pulling out maybe $100, $150 a week just to have a little like random spending cash. Just it feels good. It feels good to swipe that card. It almost feels like it's free stuff, even though I mean technically it's not, but it feels like it. So
Right. Yeah, I mean that kind of I've had, kind of drawing your point to my point before, I've had a lot of people asking me, how to get into crypto and what crypto they should buy and, all the typical questions like that. And what I've been telling them a lot lately is, if you've got the money, set up an automatic DCA into Bitcoin using like Coinbase or something.
yeah.
So that's one thing that you can do. And then some people are like, well, I don't have that much spare money and whatever, or I want to do that, but I also want more. I want to, get into altcoins and stuff. And my suggestion, and obviously it's selfish too, but this is what I actually did in the last bear market. And it's what I still do today. And I've done it pretty much my entire crypto career, from Steam to Hive, and now Hive and LeoFinance, is creating content, being active on Hive, and now that we've got Threads, being active on Threads, and scooping up crypto. I mean, it's like, in my opinion, those are like the two best things you can do, is like find a platform where you can be active and earn crypto, and dollar cost average into Bitcoin using some sort of automated app and your fiat paycheck. And if you do that, then the next bull market hits and you'll be doing extremely well. And a lot, like, it's just crazy. Like, people don't want to do that minimal amount of work, which is like so easy. I mean, look at someone like Taskmaster, who's picked up he's picked up tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Hive and Leo tokens. And in a bull market scenario, like, he's earned all of this stake. And then, things go to the roof, and he's made a ton of money, and all the content he's made in the past is suddenly worth a lot of money. I mean, potentially, over $100 a post, and, making several posts a day, you can do the math on that. And that's exactly what happened for me. Like, I'd say like a very large chunk of my portfolio today was made up of earnings from Steam, Hive, and Leo. Like, it's like those earning from those early days from content. And then in the last bull, I mean, I sold a lot of Hive in the last bull market, and now I've already bought back more than I've sold. But I sold a ton of Hive at like $2 plus, which was insane. Now we're sitting at 30 cents, and I picked up a ton of Hive, sub 40 cents. So yeah, I mean, like, so many people are looking for like the bear market strategy. And for me, it's those two things: dollar cost average in Bitcoin, find a way to earn crypto. And for me, obviously that's, something very local and close to what I do on a daily basis. So it's as easy as that, in my opinion. And then just have a long-term ability to think long-term. Don't think that you're going to make a bunch of money this year, but if you think that you'll make a bunch of money in the next 3 years, then you'll do very well.
Well, and it goes back to, have a plan and work the plan. I mean,
Have a plan, work the plan. I like it.
that's the easiest way to have long-term success. And obviously, the plan's got to be fundamentally sound. But me personally, like, I struggle with that in terms of like staying consistent and working a specific plan. There's definitely inefficiency, so to speak, abound. But that's like one thing you've been doing well. It's just like you have a game plan and you stick to the game plan and you work the game plan.
Yep.
That's
really all you can do.
Exactly. Yeah, because I mean, all you have control over is your decisions and your actions. I mean, in the end, what you or I do or anyone else listening, like, is not going to materially impact what the crypto market does.
Right.
So
Bitcoin's pushing 18.9 now.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, what a Nomad Soul was saying 19K tomorrow. Like, tomorrow, how about like on this call?
Yeah.
Like, we're almost possible
there. Yeah.
So I totally forgot to start creating a show recap post.
Oh.
In the markets.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I'll do our weekly LeoVerse updates.
Yes.
So obviously a lot is happening as we head into 2023. We've set some pretty big targets for this year. Obviously the new UI is big. Kind of the main focus at the start of the year is getting this new UI out in open alpha and then eventually replacing production. So right now we're working on some image stuff, some image uploading stuff. I can share a little, let's see here. Let me share a little teaser of the new image uploading situation. But yeah, we're working on image uploading for the new UI, and it's just a lot of like core features like that are getting implemented. And then obviously testing and fixing some bugs as we go. Here's the teaser in Discord. So it's like a cool new way to upload images, like you drag and drop, and it looks really clean. But yeah, like, our progress on the UI has been really good. Obviously it's taking a lot longer than we want it to. That's pretty much how development goes. But the end result is that this UI is like stupidly fast. I mean, I can't wait for everybody to start using it because it's just so, especially threads. I mean, it might even be faster than Twitter in a lot of different ways. It's like really crazy how fast it is. And we built a lot of scalability into the back end. So that's what I'm excited for. Notifications page, I like keep talking about it because on the new UI, that's what I pretty much sit on all day is the notifications page. I post a thread, I scroll through other people's threads, but then I always am going back to the notifications page. Like I've got 2,800 notifications just from this morning. So I'm always going back to the notifications page, and it's like so much easier to be engaged with everybody. So I think just from the notifications page alone, activity on threads is just going to skyrocket just from the existing users, just because right now when someone replies to your thread, it's pretty difficult to see that they replied and to actually, find their reply and then reply back to them on the current UI. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah, so hopefully by the end of this month, we'll all be sitting on the new UI. That's the current goal, but we're obviously hoping that a lot of things go well. We've had a lot of big issues that we needed to tackle, but the progress has been good. So I'm happy with it. And then we've talked a lot about this target by the end of the year, which is 5,000 monthly active users. And a Nomad Soul, he's the head of growth. So this is his department. He's got a lot of really cool ideas. I've been, sifting through some of his ideas for this year, and I'm really excited for what we've got in store. So, getting this new UI is priority one. Once we have the UI in, we're going to be very focused on this plan of getting 5,000 monthly active users. That's going to be like our daily focus. We're, as a team, we're going to wake up every day. We're like, how do we get to 5,000? And then I want that to seep through to the community and be, every day when you wake up, how do we achieve 5,000 monthly active users by the end of the year? If you can add even one monthly active user to threads, that makes a huge difference. So that's kind of where everything's headed. And then I've talked a lot about, the business model behind Leo and some of the stuff that we've been working on behind the scenes, which is author monetization tools. So that's going to be a big part of the new UI towards the end of this year, which is going to be giving authors the ability to do things like basically like adding, like if you're familiar with like Substack, where you can do like a premium newsletter, basically adding features like that to the LeoFinance experience, where like Taskmaster can create a private. And yeah, I mean, I see like Nifty's joking about only Leos, which is kind of funny because that's basically what this is. So adding the feature where Taskmaster could like create a private newsletter every day in conjunction with his normal, free to read content on Hive. He can create a paid newsletter every day and it's all automated. He just sets it up. And if you want to read it, it's hidden on the UI, unless you're a subscriber and you pay in Leo or Hive to view that newsletter every day. And, once a month, it'll renew your subscription. And then, if you don't renew it, then obviously you can't read it anymore. So doing stuff like that, I think, is really cool. That's basically how like Seeking Alpha monetized itself. Substack is making a killing right now. And, I think leveraging this is something that Hive has never had, which is just author monetization outside of rewards pools. So we're kind of getting into this merging of Web 2 ideas with Web 3 ideas with the new UI, which is that the UI is super easy to use. It's identical to Twitter. But then as you dig deeper, obviously you get the more Web 3 experience, you get the long form content, you get the wallet, all that stuff. But then adding in that monetization aspect, I think is going to be really big for the authors. And it's also going to be huge for the platform, because obviously, a small percentage is going to be taken on each subscription sale and stuff like that. And then we're going to be burning Leo with it. So yeah, I like what we were saying, upgrading Web 2 features to Web 3. Exactly. So taking the best of what Web 2 has to offer and merging it with Web 3 and just supercharging the experience. Because, Web 3 is awesome, but it's super hard to use. A lot of the traditional business models that creators have on Web 2 don't work on Web 3 right now, and all sorts of stuff like that. So, we need to take the best of what's offered there and offer it on LeoFinance. And that's what, not merge, upgrade. I got you. So yeah, upgrading what's available on Web 2, supercharged with Web 3. So that's kind of where the new UI is at. On the DeFi side, liquidity has been growing. Obviously it's a slow grind. But I'm happy with the progress every month, to see, the multi-token bridge grow. We released a big bridge update recently, where transactions will actually auto replay now for 30 minutes. So if you've noticed, if you've used the bridge, either your transaction will go through instantly, or it can take up to 30 minutes, where it's like, it might take 5 minutes, it might take 10 minutes, it might take 15 minutes, but it will basically, if it fails out, it will wait about a minute and then it'll retry it through a different RPC node. And then if that one fails, it'll retry it through another RPC node. And if that one fails, it'll retry it through another, and it'll keep doing that for 30 minutes. And if after 30 minutes it doesn't work, it will be pushed to manual, where we have to manually refund it with a support ticket. But ever since we deployed that, the reliability of transacting on the bridge has been literally like a 10x increase in reliability. So this was the big bridge update we've been working on for a few months. Yeah, I'm really happy with how that's working right now. It's still not perfect, and the bridge, this type of bridge software is like so complex. It's so crazy to work on it. But the main complexity is that we want to add reliability features like replaying transactions, but without the ability to double spend, because we have to be very cautious that we can't let the bridge keep replaying a transaction when it's actually sending it. And so imagine that you send 1,000 HBD through the bridge, it fails the first time, it resends it the second time and it's successful, but the bridge still thinks it wasn't successful. So then it sends you another 1,000, and then a minute later it sends you another 1,000. That's obviously something we can't have. So adding this reliability feature might seem like it was simple on the surface, but it's actually, complex, because you have to make sure that there's a lot of, back checking to make sure that it's not double spending. So that's the main reason why it takes 30 minutes, because it's it tries it, a minute later, it looks on chain to see if it sent it. And if it didn't send it, then it tries it again. And it just keeps doing that for 30 minutes. So really happy with how that, I think since we've deployed that, we've only had about 3 or 4 manual refunds through tech support. So super happy with how that's going.
So it's a 30, so if it tries and fails, basically it waits 30 minutes before it tries again.
It'll wait about a minute, and then it'll keep trying. So it'll try almost, 25, 30 times, but then after 30 minutes, it'll stop. It'll stop, and then you have to manually refund it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's much better than the old system was that it would retry it once and then it would never try it again, and then you'd have to manually refund it.
Yeah.
So this one is a lot more reliable so far.
Nice. That's cool.
And then 3 days from today, we've got LPUD. I'm not sure what a Nomad Soul has planned for the first LPUD of 2023, which is something that I love because you know, for pretty much the first time in history, there's things going on with Leo that I am not privy to. So it's completely out of my, completely out of my control, completely, you know, up to somebody else, which means that the, you know, the business, the community, the economy is expanding. You know, it's not as bottlenecked as things used to be. So
Cal is no
the
longer
first
the
output of
bottleneck.
2023. Yeah.
Someone make
I
a
haven't
meme.
figured out how to clone myself yet, but we'll
Someone
get
make
there.
a meme of Cal and bottleneck and not being one. Bottleneck Cal. All right, I caught up. We had all the goodness stuff. Bitcoin chatter, UI updates, earning on LeoFinance, multi-token bridge updates. Missed all the chatter. What do we got? Blah, 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 blah. Yes, first output incoming. Yep, I agree with all the sentiment in the chat. But yeah, that's a big feature with the multi-token bridge because, you know, not only are you creating a better user experience, you also, you know, drastically lightening the load on manual support tickets that need to be handled.
100%. Yeah.
So,
I've noticed a lot less support tickets. We still get plenty, but
I'm
I've
sure
noticed a lot less.
Yes. Like I said, I spammed yesterday with the kingdoms and I'm like, probably moot, but this is still annoying. Coolness. Yeah, just like that, we're already 15 minutes after the hour. Time flies. I need to bounce in a couple of minutes. So
Time
if anyone's
flies
got
in
any
this
questions for
universe.
Cal, get them in. And I assume we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming next week.
Yep. Yeah, I lost my voice on Tuesday this week, so the cat was gracious enough to move us to Thursday. So a little surprise AMA for everybody, but we actually have a pretty good turnout today. So yeah, I didn't put out any pre-announcements, so I'm happy with the turnout.
Well, maybe Thursday happens to be a better day.
Better day.
Well, in terms of people being around.
Yeah.
So our normal time. Get this wrapped up. Our normal.
Someone asked me on Threads, when Leo at $1?
I second that question.
My answer will surprise you.
I'm assuming the answer is going to be soon. Or it's in the Sooniverse.
Either one of those usually works.
If you have actually like a legit opinion on it, then I'm very interested and curious. Or you
by
could,
the
you
end
could,
of the year.
I don't know. I'm going to take the under on that bet.
Will you?
Because I was going to say next bull market, which means you're probably talking, you know, end of 2024, not end of 2023.
I mean, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's virtually guaranteed, right? Because last bull market we hit $1. But
guarantees, what do I get if my guarantee doesn't come to fruition? Cat wants compensation.
But the you know, let me put it to you this way. Right now we have basically 500 to 600 monthly active users. if we 10x our monthly active users to 5,000 to 5,000 to 6,000 monthly active users by the end of 2023, and we have author monetization, obviously we have the Leo ad revenue, which is already doing really well with 500 monthly active users, and you can only imagine you 10x that, and the site becomes a lot more engaging, and ad revenue will not just 10x, but it'll be an exponential growth. Where does that put Leo if we have 5,000 MAUs? So that's my question to you.
Well, first of all, you messed up because you said if. You're supposed to say when we have 5,000.
When soon?
Right.
When soon?
Stop confusing the universe.
Swen,
exactly. Swen. All right, come on, post publish. I can't wait till that's faster. It's like,
yeah, that'll be fixed on the new UI.
The new UI. I'm gonna have to learn how to use new stuff.
Yeah, we've gotten to the point. So up until about 2 months ago or so, we got to the point where we moved all the devs from the old UI to the new UI. So if you've noticed things not working as well as they used to, that's the reason, is because we kind of hit that critical mass point on the new UI where it's all hands on deck to get it out. And obviously the current UI is getting replaced very soon in the Sooniverse.
The recap post is dropped into the Leo TV chat, and ironically, I should drop that probably in general because those are the people that are not part of the call.
When drop in threads.
Yes. Oh yeah, that is it's hard to teach an old cat new tricks. I'm not active on Twitter. I never was, like, at all, and outside of being like a lurker. And clearly I have not been active on threads. I don't know how do I make a when soon show recap on threads? I guess just drop in like the three bullet points,
something like that, and then just
a link to the long form.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what?
I even like, if you want to be real lazy, and I mean, if I'm like in a hurry, I'll do this. I'll take the link to my post. Well, I'll take the title to my post, paste it into a thread, and then hit enter twice, create some space, and then paste the link, and then I'll just post that. If you want to get real lazy. Yeah, and maybe turn one of the keywords in the title to a hash, like put a hashtag in front of it, and now you got a thread.
What can I do for the thread? Can I do the title of the post, and then I'll do the 3 subtopics?
Yeah, I would say that's the non-lazy way to do it.
The initial thread, and then in that I can dump details.
The lazy cat version is just to title of the post and then the link.
Drop the link.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, well, shit. I could always drop these subtopics as additional sub threads.
You could do that too.
Maybe I'll do it that way. That sounds like a plan. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, we've got a lot more activity on threads lately. Like before, you would see 30 to 30 minutes, even an hour in between one thread to the next. But now pretty much 24/7, you're seeing a thread every couple minutes, which is cool to see.
This is actually pretty genius. And then topics.
And the new UI does it even better.
Yes.
In the Sooniverse.
I'm going to make a thread, and I'm going to add a comment on my thread with the info people need.
I'm obviously not going to post this, but this is what it would look like if you did it on the new UI. It's nice because you get like the little preview and see your hashtags and how it looks. But yeah, that's how if I was being lazy, I mean, that took me probably 7 seconds to do. Paste the title, put a hashtag in front of LeoFinance, paste the link. That's it.
I just did all that and it took me like 30 seconds. I just saw the thread task put up 44 seconds ago. I am going to vote that.
If Cat starts threading, we are going to $2 Leo. That's true.
If that was a guarantee, I would be threading up a storm.
if we all start threading, then we will go to $2 Leo. It's pretty much a guarantee.
Oh, that's interesting. So I have my thread, right? And then under that, like there's the comment. I put like the topics, I put the bullet points.
Yeah.
But and I only see it on this one thing for some reason. In the comment, that's one in the bottom right corner in red, it says Hive engine is down.
Yeah. So actually the way, I don't know if we've ever really talked about this, but the way
That's
that
pretty
threads
cool. What
work,
is that?
what?
No, like ahead. I'm like
The Hive
curious,
engine
like
is down.
I'm gonna drop this in the chat.
So I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but with a blockchain, things don't actually confirm instantly, right? So when you upvote and you're able to upvote, like you're able to just upvote 10 posts as fast as you physically can. If you go back to like Steam days, you weren't able to do that, right? You had to actually wait for your upvote to like, you'd wait for the circle to spin and then confirm, and then you could do the next one. And if you did them too fast, it would say like blockchain error or whatever. But the way that UIs have sidestepped this, like us and PeakD, is that we added basically a server in between your upvotes, where your upvotes get sent to the server, and then the server is talking to the blockchain. But on the UI, you can just upvote as fast as you can, and then basically it's called a queue, where like your actions are getting added to a queue. So the way that threads works is that it like you post a thread and it instantly shows you the thread on the UI, right? But obviously on the blockchain, your thread isn't instantly getting posted to the blockchain, and the UI can't instantly read from the blockchain and show it to you. So there's actually a fake thread that's shown to you right when you first post your thread. So like the second you post your thread, it shows on the UI, but that is not the real thread that's being posted to the blockchain. So on the back end, that thread is being posted to the blockchain, and within 3 seconds, it's actually on chain. But the UI, it takes the UI about 60 seconds for it to like refeed from the blockchain and show it to you, right? So when you see Hive engine is down right after you posted a thread, like if you refresh this page right now,
Oh, it's already gone.
yeah, it's gone, right? And the reason why is because what you're seeing when you first post it is the fake thread, which is showing Hive engine is down because it's reading half of the information from the chain and it's seeing that something's not right. So it just shows you a little error. But if you refresh 60 seconds later, it doesn't show that anymore because now it's actually reading the real thread. So so that's just kind of some interesting back end nuance. But this is part of the reason that Project Blank threads was so hard to develop, because we had to develop all these little tools that you would never really think of in terms of like scalability and usability on the back end. You don't want people to post a thread and have to wait 60 seconds for it to actually show up, right? So instead, you show them a fake thread, and then 60 seconds later, it updates to the real thread. And if you post this is the other thing. One thing I want to work on with the new UI, because it still does this. It doesn't do it. It's a little bit faster than the current Threads UI, but if you post a thread and then immediately refresh the homepage of Threads, your thread will look like it didn't get posted. And the reason why is because it was showing you a fake one, but as soon as you refresh the page, it gets rid of the fake one. But it's still, you're kind of in this window where it's still too soon to read it from the chain. So that's kind of like this narrow window where if you do refresh before it's updated to the chain, you're losing that fake thread view, but then you don't have the real one yet. So if you refresh in that window, it kind of looks like your thread didn't get posted. And I've seen people who have said, oh, my thread got deleted. And then, they refreshed 30 seconds later and they're like, oh, never mind. So that's something I want to work on, but it's kind of like a complex edge case that we need to solve for. But right now, I think the implementation is pretty good, especially if you understand that like it's a fake thread for 60 seconds and then it gives you the real one.
Well, in the end, it shows up right away, and that's all that counts, because ain't no one got patience, ain't no one got time for that.
Yep. Task said getting a fake one sounds like Leo Threads is like my dates faking it. Yeah, Leo Threads is a little bit of a catfisher, just a little bit.
Task is using a lot of my normal jokes, but I guess I can't use these jokes anymore. Refresh. I like that GIF. Yeah, there was plenty of threads activity over the last minute or so. Stever82 said, I got to get rolling since Cal said if we start using threads, we're heading to $2 Leo.
It's true. I mean, you get enough people to use it actively, very actively. The ad revenue goes up, Leo goes up, things do well. We go to $2. The cat retires.
Yes, Cat wants to retire. My life will just be doing AMAs between all the different groups I'm a part of.
Answering whens with soons. That's not a bad way to live your retirement.
So this is interesting. Like if you click, so like if you are looking at a thread and it's got, the little comment icon on the bottom left, and if like, you click on that, I'm assuming to be able to see, the comments under that thread. I assume the number there is the number of comments, but like I click on it and I only see like,
Which one?
like if you look at my when soon show 5 minutes ago, whatever it was,
shows
like
3.
It shows 3. You click on it, the only comment is mine with the subtopics.
No, I see 2 other comments.
Oh, I'm not for some reason. Interesting.
Hold
on, maybe if I click on
refresh
the actual thread. Oh,
did you click the sub thread or did you click the main one?
No. So here's the difference. So yeah, like let me go back. If I'm on the main thread page, and I'm looking at, in the feed of threads over the last 10 minutes, and I see mine, and I just clicked a little comment icon that shows 3. When I click on that, you get a pop-up and it just shows mine, and then that's it. And the ability to create a comment. So I see what's happening. Like I said, I barely use Twitter. So you click on that, that's giving you the ability to comment.
I see what you did. You got the little pop-up window, not the actual.
Yes, you actually have to hit on the actual thread to see all the comments. And then that also gives you the ability to comment. But when you just click on the little comment icon,
that's replying to the thread that you just clicked on. Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting there. It shows that I guess it shows my reply because it's me and I'm the thread creator. I don't know. But that was interesting. But yeah, if you click on my actual thread and then it's not a pop-up, then yeah, you see. Cool. There we go. More threads action live on the AMA, on the Random Thursday AMA. All good things on Thursdays. Good things Thursdays.
Good things Thursdays.
Might have to turn it into the new time.
Yeah, Taskmaster said, Cat providing a Leo Threads tutorial. Very much.
Apparently, AKA asking fifth grader questions for myself. Yes, Nifty. Yeah. Don't drop the phone.
Might turn into a shitty situation. Yeah.
Don't. And on that note, next show's on Tuesday. We'll be here all week. Thank you, folks. Yeah. Don't forget to tip your waitresses.
Yeah, have a good one, Nifty. We'll see you guys. What is it? January 17th, Tuesday.
Sounds
back
good.
To our regularly scheduled When Soon show.
Coolness. All right, y'all have a good weekend, and we will see you on the next one.
See ya.
Peace. Cat out.